Welcome to the Gravel Lot, the place where bikes are for everyone.
The Gravel Lot podcast is presented by Be Free Ride Bikes Apparel, providing a fully customized cycling apparel experience to provide you and your team the attention to detail and personal touch that you deserve.
And also brought to you by Grimpour Brothers Coffee, offering choose their subscription service and earn your free bag of coffee today.
Enthusiast with the most efficient, comfortable, and sustainable bike fit they have ever had.
Contact us today to learn more.
And by Hand Up Gloves. Great gear, better times. Providing a wide range of apparel for bikes, snow sports, and golf in multiple designs and fits to let your personality shine.
And anyone who wants to ride them. So no matter where you sit on the spectrum of bikes, we'll always have a place for you in the Gravel Lot.
And now, the hosts of TGL, John Woolry and Doug McClintock.
Hello. Welcome back to the Gravel Lot, the podcast for all things bikes, storytelling, and the place where no matter what ride you're on, you will always have a place here with us in the Gravel Lot. So, as it is every week, I'm still John, and that is still Doug.
Yep, hasn't changed.
We don't think. And we're glad that you found us. So whether you're
a new name, I'm thinking of a new name. I haven't decided what it is.
All right. So whether you are a new or an existing Pebble, welcome. Hello, and welcome to the show. And if you like what you hear, press the subscribe button, or we can find you in your feed, whatever.
Whichever way that works, yeah.
Yeah. Click the buttons, do the things, do the follows, get the content that we're putting out every week. And if you want to become a loyal Pebble, most loyal Pebble, by being one of our Patreon supporters.
Well, I mean, look, the most loyal
Pebbles... I nailed that, by the way.
Most loyal Pebbles are only judged by their undying ability to retweet anything cool we say. So not doing that, then you're not alone. No, being a Pebble. We're all Pebbles. the playing field is level. But if you do want to become a Patreon supporter, head on over to our Patreon and help us make this show happen for you. There's a lot of different stuff we're doing in through Patreon or through whatever social media you wish, or call our phone number 513-400-5577 and leave us a voicemail. We will this week's episode for sure. I can promise you next week. So our patrons get access to that. You can find out who's coming up. And if you were a patron before, you knew that Tara Seplavy was going to be on this week's show ages ago,
Yes.
which is kind of kismet. And we'll talk about that. But tiers, we don't have any of that. We just really appreciate all of you. And to all of the Pebbles who have been supporting us, thank you, thank you, thank you. It means if you're a patron. So
yes,
that's that. John, how's your ride been this week?
We're just talking about this before recording. I don't have a lot to talk about this week.
That's is that good?
Yeah, I think it is. So it's 2 weeks exactly from my second shot. So I guess that means that I am like ready to go out into the world and go to the mall and go to very packed clubs and be around that's
sweaty
not
humans in clubs. I back this.
That means. I never did that before, so I don't even know why I'm
right.
talking
It's
about
not going to become something.
But like that, being able to see my family more, being able to feel comfortable going and doing more things. The thing that I noticed this week is I find myself coming to grips with kind of unspooling the last year of wiring and like rewiring my brain to feel comfortable going out and doing those things again, and to cut myself some slack and cut other people slack for whatever their calibration go back into whatever the future is going to be and
sure.
Leave what was it that we called it last week? The it's not the past, but the move forward. So I don't have any major announcements for this week, but that is a good thing because it seems like it's a beautiful day outside. It's a shame that I'm in my basement recording this, but I love being here with everybody. So for me, it's pretty simple. It's pretty low key, and I'm okay with that because that's who I am.
But you know what? That's what everybody's dealing with.
So that's me. What about you, Doug? How was your ride this week?
It's been crazy. So much going on. I'm refinancing my house tomorrow. But I think the thing that has been driving me all day, and I want to share with the Pebbles, you've been here. If you've been here since episode 1, you heard me talk about today. Cora, the local IMBA chapter here, was able to announce that they've partnered with the company called Progressive Bike Ramps out of Joplin, Missouri. Progressive Bike Ramps is a massive design and build firm. They make hardware, they install it, they design bike parks, they do all this stuff to build a bike skills facility in Cincinnati parks. We've been working on this project for a couple of years, and now finally the money's been allocated and PBR is getting to work ASAP. Lots of acronyms, but we're really excited. And it has been just like a day of watching like this thing get traction. And that's been really cool because it's just exciting for me as a person who kind of, worked with the team to develop what we could do, that the dude, little Avery or little Philip or, Frederica is going to just go crazy when this thing builds. And that, to me, building a bike skills facility that gets that many people feel really good. And I'm flying high from that stuff specifically because last week was a labor. So it's nice to have a little bit of like,
and all day. And this is the type of stuff that fuels advocacy, because you dig and you dig and you dig and you spend 4, 5, 25 years in the case of Mount Airy getting to these things. And then you have your one day, your 2 days of media coverage, and then you see the positivity, you see the fact that you're opening so, or reigniting somebody back into bikes that hasn't been doing it for a while, and it's like, this is why we work so hard and put so much time in to prove these things out, because when they come to fruition, they actually make people's lives better and they make people excited to go outside and do this.
And so I've been enjoying that today, and it's nice to have those kind of moments where you feel that instead of just being like, oh, it's such a slog. We're waiting on the government.
Yeah.
Folks, today's discussion is going to be spicy. That is good. We are going to deal with some topics that are important right now, away from some sensitive content. I understand that, but also this is important content that we need to talk about as a community and as a nation and as a world. Get those into the chat on your respective platforms. John will be bringing those in, and hopefully we can get some of those questions answered by our good friend Tara. So I will bring our good friend Tara in episode 26, as John tells me, of season 2, where we covered a lot about her history with inside cycling and how the bike really was a personal connection for her as far as strength and resilience. But we really didn't cover a whole bunch of Tara's personal. We did not.
Boy.
Like we did
It didn't
not.
look. It didn't look like what it's gonna look like.
No, I think we were going to talk about mountain bikes and ska music again. And
yeah, I think that was like
instead, I mean, we can talk about that, but I think everybody's going to be bored off their rocker if we just talk about that stuff. So,
well, I don't think so. I mean, ska, but there are some bigger things afoot right now, and just this is kind of sad kismet in that way that this syncs up, that Tara's been scheduled since December to join us on the show today. So we could not have imagined in a million years we'd be in this space. So let's get to this. First, welcome back to the Gravel Lot. It is so good to have you here.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's great to, let's see, I don't even have anything prepared to be mouthy about right now, but it's great. It's great to be back on this side of a podcast with you, because last week when we talked, or the last time we interacted for a podcast, it was y'all's helping me out get my own one rolling. So well, I definitely appreciate
is to cover some of the ground from this project that you're launching, and many, but you just for putting all of this together, for getting notes for anyone that wants to go kind of check it out later.
I decided to start up a podcast. One off was just going to be, because if anybody doesn't know, to door I knock somebody, like, I am in fact a trans person, and honest to goodness, I don't know about goodness, but honest, all right, maybe not honest, trans person. But the name of the podcast, you're all the Pepples who are listening right now are joining in as part of this. And what this is a podcast that, instead of topically and try to put together panels of folks who can talk about their lived experience with inside important topics, as it is something that's of utmost importance to equity and inclusion in the bike space, because it's something that I don't think we're talking about enough. And yes, I'm sure that there's a whole lot of people at home going, I hear about it too much, but I think for a lot, I want to give platform to those.
Really website. There's links on the TGL page. All of that's there. You said something really important that I want to kind of put and encapsulize in amber for a brief moment in time, because it's important to talk about lived experience, and that's what you're trying to do through the podcast. Like we're in the Minority Report, where I can
for the folks who feel like all you're hearing from people that look like life, and
exactly.
And that's where I love what you're loved. I love being a part of producing it, but I more how everybody was so open to sharing their story and sharing some of their lived experiences that are just very cold. My life has changed, and limit, or you're not limited. Let the people tell the story that are affected by all of these things that we're trying to put together.
Yeah, and on top of that, something I really enjoyed about ours wasn't just like a two-way discussion, actual discussion, and people took nuggets of info from one person and parlayed it off with what somebody else said, and it was a good roundtable discussion, and I think it had impact. And I think this is something a year from now, 2 years from now, I might look back and go, oh wow, actually that meant something to somebody, and I'm pretty proud of it.
Well, I think knobs and moving faders, as it were.
Using something. It's just hitting keyboard.
Mix master, John.
But there was an aspect of being able to be present in that moment that is really important. And I think that's where everybody is a human being and lives their own experience, right? Whatever it is. Well, it doesn't matter where you grow up, what part of the world people's lived experiences are. And, we're in this space right now where there are some major things happening in a national level in the United States and frank foremost to the cycling industry. And we're seeing that because of the intersection of some challenges. And so talk about giving people the opportunity to really think about how we move forward with our eyes open to other people.
Yeah, and I think that they want to hear voices that sound like theirs. They want to hear the variety of life that is out. Is that
we need to pause right there for a moment because John said where our live is dropping frames. So
Yeah.
John's going to make
So
an adjustment.
for everyone listening right now, I'm going to close